Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Shtotarashata Shishma Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Shtotarashata Shishmat His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. So we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 14, the story of King Vena, verses 25, 26, 27, and 28. And we will repeat the last one. So I'll just read the previous ones. 25. Ko yajña-puruṣo nāma yatra vo bhaktir īdṛśī bhartṛ-sneha-vidūrāṇāṁ yathā jāre kuyoṣitām. Translation. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour. Text 26 and 27. Vishnur virincho girisha indro vayuryamo ravi arjanyo dhanadasoma shitir agnir apampati etecchyanecha vibhuda prabhavo varasappayo dehe bhavanti nṛpate sarva deva mayo nṛpa. Translation. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods who are simply parts and parcels of the king's body. Purport. There are many demons who think of themselves as the supreme and present themselves as the directors of the sun, moon, and other planets. This is so due to false pride. Similarly, King Vena developed the demonic mentality and presented himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such demons are numerous in this age of Kali, and all of them are condemned by great sages and saintly persons. And now, text 28. Tasman mam karma bir vipra. Tasman mam karma bir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsara. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha madhyam harata. Balim cha madhyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasman mam karma bir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha madhyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasman mam karma bir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha madhyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasman mam karma vir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha madhyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasman mam karma vir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha mahyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasman mam karma bir vipra. Yajadvam gata matsaraha. Balim cha mahyam harata. Matonya kograbukpuman. Tasmat. For this reason, mam me karma be by ritualistic activities. Vipra, O Brahmanas, Yajadvam, worship, Gatha, without, Matsaraha, being envious, Balim, paraphernalia for worship, Cha, also, Mahyam, unto me, Harata, bring, Mata, then me, Anya, other, Ka, who is, Agrabuk, the enjoyer of the first oblations, Puman, personality. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. King Vena continued, for this reason, O Brahmanas, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me, who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices. Purport: as stated by Krishna himself throughout Bhagavad Gita, there is no truth superior to him. King Vena was imitating the Supreme Personality of Godhead and was also speaking out of false pride, presenting himself as the Supreme Lord. These are all characteristics of demoniac person. Avajānati-mirandasya gyananjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in the midst of the conversation between the Brahmanas and King Vena, and Brahmanas there trying to convince King Vena that he should perform his duties in a proper way. Proper means he should follow Shastra. And Shastra is teaching us that Īśvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Bhaktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram sukhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is the proprietor of everything, and he is the best friend of all living entities. And if we don't recognize this, there is no way to be peaceful, to achieve peace and to achieve happiness. Jai. So Jagannath is the Supreme Lord, the Master of the universe. And this small, insignificant, tiny king, somehow he was imagining that he can take the place of the Supreme Lord. And the Brahmanas, with their tolerance and patience and virtues, are trying in a gentle way to explain that he has to give up all these misgivings, this strange way of thinking, and again they were trying to explain. But he was very determined, and because of his ignorance, actually he was seeing the reality in an opposite way. It is explained in Bhagavad Gita that person who is in the mode of ignorance, he perceives the true religious principles or dharma as adharma. And he perceives what is adharma, not religious principles, for dharma. So here we see this practically, how this King Vena, he was opposing the opinion of the Brahmanas, of the saintly personalities, and he was thinking only he can see the reality as it is. He was thinking, you don't know what you're talking about. I have heard something, I know something about Shastra, I understand properly Shastra, and you don't know anything about it. And Srila Prabhupada explains that actually in both purports he is mentioning that this is due to his false pride. When we become proud, we cannot tolerate other opinion than our opinion. We think we know the best, we know only we can see the truth, we can see the reality, and everyone is confused. And this is a difficult situation. That's why in the devotee circles, it is advised that we always stay with another devotees, at least 2, even better 3. Why? Because if you start getting off road, if you enter into illusion, immediately your friend, he'll come and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, what's wrong with you? what are these stupid things you're talking? Just come back to your senses, become again a normal devotee. So because of false pride, we perceive the reality in a different way. It is very interesting how this world that we are living in is multi-dimensional, and all of us, we can be present in one place at the same time, but we can exist in different dimensions in the same time. And we know for certain, for 4 dimensions, because Krishna is describing them in Bhagavad Gita, and this is ignorance, passion, goodness, and pure goodness. And people may be present at the same time in one place, in terms of space, but they can perceive the reality in this space in a totally different way. The person in ignorance will perceive the world in a completely different way than the person in passion. The person in passion will perceive the world in a different way than the person in goodness. And all of them, they'll be completely ignorant in terms of the ultimate reality, which is Shuddha Sattva, transcendental world, the abode of Krishna, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from this perspective, the king, he was making these big statements. He was saying, I am the Supreme. So Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, there is no truth superior than me. Māḍhā paratra nānyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. And here, this proud king, he is basically saying the same thing. Pandava was explaining in the previous classes how he was quoting which famous verse? Avajānanty mūḍhā. Yeah, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, avajānanty mūḍhā. Fools and rascals, they cannot appreciate me. And Maharaja, he was also saying, oh, fools and rascals, they cannot appreciate my greatness. So basically he was calling the Brahmanas and the saintly personalities fools and rascals. mūḍhā. So like that, he was in this great illusion, and all of this started by not accepting the authority of Shastra, not accepting the authority of Sadhu and Guru, and being proud and thinking that I understand the reality in a better way than the way how Shastra is describing the reality. We know from Krishna that there are 2 kinds of living entities in the universe: demoniac, asuras, and divine, suras. And their qualities are different. And we pretend to be devotees. Yes? Who is devotee here? No devotees? Some are sure, some are confused. Yes, we all want to be devotees, but sometimes some demoniac tendencies appear in our hearts, and we try to get rid of them, but still they appear sometimes. So we are aspiring devotees, but at the same time we could say the angel and the devil are living in our heart, and sometimes we are nice, and sometimes we are like angel, but sometimes the other nature, the other qualities are coming, and we become a little bit unrecognizable by the other devotees. What happened? I don't know him in this light. So, in Bhagavad Gita, in 16th chapter, Krishna is describing to Arjuna the divine and the demoniac qualities. We can read a little bit, but the first thing I want to say is that at the end of this 16th chapter, Krishna is giving the criteria. What is the difference between divine and demoniac? What makes someone divine and what makes someone demoniac? So in the last two verses of 16th chapter, Krishna is saying, Ya shastravidim utsrija vartate kamakarataha nasasidim avapnoti nasukham na param gatim. This is verse 23. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness, not the supreme destination. When Vishnudutas come to save Ajamila, they ask few questions, the Yamadutas. And one of the questions is, you want to take him, but do you know what is actually dharma? Do you know what is right and what is wrong? You are saying he did something wrong. But what is your criteria for right and wrong? And then Yamadutas are telling to the Vishnudutas, yes, whoever is following Shastra, this is right. And when one is not following Shastra, this is wrong and he is punishable. It's very, very simple criteria. And here we find the same criteria. Ya Shastra Vidimustricha. If someone is not accepting the scriptural injunctions and he is acting according to his own whims, whimsically. I like this, I'll do it. I don't like this, I won't do it. So then, Krishna says, neither he will achieve perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. So, if we follow Shastra, we go upwards. If we don't follow the injunctions of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, gradually we degrade in our life, we go down. And that's why in the last verse of this chapter, Krishna is saying, Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitau gyatva shastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So from the scripture we understand what we are supposed to do and what we should not do, what is right and what is wrong. And in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna is describing the demoniac qualities. What is the way to cultivate divine qualities? Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Yasyastir bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manoratena sati davato bahi. If someone is trying to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is actually the way to develop all the great qualities of the demigods. And if someone is not doing this, harau abhaktasya, if he is not bhakta, if he is not devotee of Hari, harau abhaktasya kuto mahad guna. Where are his great qualities? Even if for a short while, temporarily, he is manifesting some apparently good qualities, soon they will disappear. Today they are here, tomorrow they are gone. The only way to really develop good qualities and keep them is to become a devotee of Krishna, because then you are acting on a transcendental platform and the qualities you have, they will stay. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manoratena sati davato bahi. Why he cannot have a good qualities? Because he is acting whimsically according to the desires of the mind. Manoratena. He is traveling on the chariot of the mind. And today your mind is telling you, oh, do this, this is very good for you. And you're running in this direction. And tomorrow the mind is saying, no, 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 this is not good anymore. You go do something else. And you just go and do something else. Manoratena sati davato bahi. So this is the way to develop all godly qualities and to avoid all demoniac qualities by fixing ourselves completely in the devotional service of Krishna. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Sarva gunais tatra samasate īśvaraha. So now Krishna is describing the demoniac qualities that we should try not to manifest in our day-to-day life. Dambo darpo bhimanascha nṛpa-rūpiṇam evacha ajñānam ca bijātasya parta sampadam asvarim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Prita. Krishna is saying. So the first of those demoniac qualities is pride. You become proud, you start thinking you know better, you're not ready to take advice, you're not ready to follow Shastra, and then gradually you start going down the stream, you degrade. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. Asatyam apratishtam te jagatahur anīśvaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kamahaitukam. They say that this world is unreal. Which of the philosophies we very often discuss is saying that this world is unreal? Yes. And which one more? Huh? Oh yeah, Mayavadi philosophy and yes, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Yes. Buddhism. We don't exist. The world is unreal. It doesn't exist. Asatyam. Mayavadis, they are saying Brahman Satya, Jagan Mithya. So it's the same, Asatyam. They say this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. There is no God in control, like Maharaja Vena. There is no God in control. I'm God. But because you don't have proper knowledge, you cannot see the reality. You cannot appreciate me. In one of the verses today, he is using the word Matsara. Because you are envious of me, you want to be on my place. That's why you cannot appreciate my greatness. You are envious of me. This is what Maharaja Vena is saying. In fact, he is envious to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is seeing the reality other way around. Why? Because of ignorance. So there is no God in control. They say this world is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. We are here just to enjoy life, and there is nothing higher than this. There is no higher powers, there is no God who is controlling, there is no karma, there is nothing. There is only hard work and enjoying the fruits of your hard work. This is the demoniac philosophy. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Ugra karmana. Srila Prabhupada used this term very often, describing the modern civilization that actually is producing only ugra karma, work which ultimately is not beneficial for the human society. And we may see that so many new things are appearing nowadays by the mercy of the scientific progress. But actually, long-term, people are not thinking, is this good for us or not? Yes, it gives some temporary facilities, but in long term, is it good for you or not? like the lifestyle people have today with all these modern gadgets and machinery, cars and so on, make them do strange things. For example, they have such a lifestyle that at some point they realize, oh, wait a minute, if I want to have health in my life, if I want to be healthy, I have to do some exercises. So now, because their life is such that they hardly move throughout their life, now before work they have to go to a special place to do exercises. In a natural lifestyle, the exercises are there as much as you need them. In fact, too many. Very often, so many exercises, you want to take some break from exercises. You have to go and collect the grains from the field, and you do that for a week. And then you just want to sleep for another week. Enough exercises for the body. You have to make a bread. Yes, that means you have to take the grain. First you have to make the grain into flour, then you have to prepare a dough, then you have to make the chapatis, then you have to cook them. It's plenty of work. You have to wash your clothes. Definitely you have to move. So it's made in such a way from God that everything that you need to keep your normal lifestyle is there already. But modern intelligent people, they were thinking like Vena. I know better. Oh God, the way how you created the world is not perfect. Now I'll create the world in a much better way. Just wait and see. And this is the result, Ugra Karma. We are creating so many things, but at the end they are not beneficial. In fact, they are destroying the human civilization. Yes. So Pandava Prabhu is saying that the moment in Australia they are making experiment, they just banned the social media for people who are under 16 years old. Why? Because they saw it's so detrimental for their normal growth. Actually, when they become 16, they're half humans. Yes, half of their brain is gone already. They cannot concentrate. They cannot execute simple things in their day-to-day life. So the scientists. So the scientists who produced all this lifestyle and this civilization, they themselves say that it's already proven that the current generation, the cognitive abilities of this generation is much worse than the previous ones. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by legal means for sense gratification. Krishna bhakta nishkam ateva shanta bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakale ashanta. Only devotee of Krishna can be really peaceful in his heart. Why? Because he has trust. Whatever Krishna arranged in my life, it's enough. It's enough. Krishna, he is my greatest well-wisher. He'll make the best possible arrangement for me in any sphere of life. Anything I need, he'll take care of it. Spiritual, material, everything. But anybody else doesn't have this faith that Krishna will definitely take care of me. So they are trying to make their own arrangements, and because of that they are never peaceful. All the time they are struggling. Oh, maybe this will make me happy, or maybe this will make me happy. So they are struggling so much. And like that, till the end of this chapter, Krishna continues with this description. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and I will increase it in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything, I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So it is very interesting. Demoniac personalities, they are also ready sometimes to engage in so-called dharmic activities. They will perform religious rituals. But why they are going to do that? Just so that they are actually successful in their demoniac plans. That's the only reason. It's not for the pleasure of Krishna. It's not Krishna what is anabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyana vritam anukulena krishnano. It's not anukul. It's not favorable service for the pleasure of Krishna. It's actually, I'm doing now this spiritual ritual, this ceremony, simply so that I can achieve my material plans for sense gratification. That's all. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. So this is the conclusion of Krishna. If you choose this path, you will be going more and more down. And if you choose to be a divine entity, to follow Shastra and to follow the orders of Krishna, the orders of Guru and Sadhu, then you will progress, you will elevate yourself. And what are the divine qualities Krishna is describing in the beginning of this chapter? Fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger. That's a divine quality, not to get angry. Renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding. You try not to find faults in others. If you want us so much to find faults in yourself. Yes. Compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. Oh, I don't want to be honored by others. I want to give honor to others. Amanina manadena. Serious devotee, he is not looking for prestigious positions. Sometimes, even in the circles of devotees, this creeps in gradually, this idea that, oh, I want to be the center of attention. I want to be special. I want to be unique. And I want to be recognized by others. I want to lead the kirtan on Gaur Purnima. I want everybody to see my glory, how great devotee I am. But actually, the real devotee, he is not hankering for special honor from others. Rather, he wants to be in a position that he gives honor to other devotees. He wants to worship other devotees. He wants to put other devotees ahead, like we have heard about Srimati Radharani, that is the greatest devotee. She is always trying to push other devotees in front of her. Oh, Krishna, please accept the service of this devotee. Please accept the service of this devotee. So this is the proper mood of a Vaishnava. He is always thinking, oh, I'm not so great actually. There are so many other devotees. They are much more qualified than me. Let them render service to Krishna, and I'll just assist them. I'll do something small just to be part of the picture so that I can also get some benefit. Amanina manadena. I don't want any glory for me. I don't want any recognition for me. But yes, I'm ready to give all recognition to the other devotees. Wow, yesterday you did such a nice kirtan. Wow, Prabhu, you gave such amazing Bhagavatam class. Wow, you are the best in making sweets for the deities, glorifying the Vaishnavas all the time. This is the real quality of divine person, of a Vaishnava. So these are the transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, who belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So maybe we have both natures in us, but we try to suppress the demoniac one, and we try to give opportunity for the divine nature to develop. So all these godly qualities, we are trying to develop them. And what is the way to develop them? As we said in the beginning, by performing devotional service, automatically all these amazing qualities will develop in our character. Now we have forgotten our position. Now we have forgotten we are eternal servants of Krishna because of the influence of Maya. But we can remember this. The more we engage in serving Krishna, the more we are remembering our original position of servants of Krishna. Maya mugdha jiver nahi svata Krishna jnana. Jivere kripaya koile Krishna Veda Purana. Because of the influence of Maya, the pure knowledge of the living entity becomes covered, and we forget who are we. And we think, oh, I am actually matter. I am meant to try to enjoy in this material world separately from Krishna. Jivere kripaya koile Krishna. But to show his special mercy to the living entities, Krishna, he is giving the Vedas and the Puranas. He is giving these amazing scriptures. And we can just try to understand the knowledge they are giving us. To understand who are we, actually. We will remind ourselves, we will remember what is our original position. Oh, I'm eternal servant of Krishna. And in the Vedas and in the Puranas are given so many amazing stories describing the spiritual reality, the activities of the transcendental personalities, the pastimes of Krishna. We can absorb our mind to such an extent that we totally forget about the material reality. It is actually very tasty. Krishna consciousness is very tasty, and we can appreciate this by going deeply into the pastimes of Krishna, going deeply into chanting the name of Krishna, kirtan. Golokera premadana harinama sankirtana. Actually, the love of God is coming directly from the spiritual world in the form of this Harinam Sankirtan movement. Prema, or love of God, is personified in this Sankirtan movement. Just by chanting the names of Krishna in japa or in kirtan, we can experience this. Just by reading amazing pastime describing the life of Krishna, we can be completely immersed in transcendental happiness, and we can forget about jada rasa, about the temporary, unexisting rasa that we are trying to squeeze from the material life, from the material existence. Other day I was reading few amazing stories from Gopal Champu, famous book that describes the life of Krishna, book of Śrīla Jiva Goswami. And I was thinking, yeah, it's true, like you can just read about the pastimes of Krishna and you're completely immersed in happiness, in joy. You forget about all the problems. Like I was reading amazing pastime how Nanda Maharaj, he goes every morning to take bath in Yamuna and collect pure water from there and some beautiful lotus flower for his puja. Nanda Maharaj has a Shila and he's worshipping this Shila every day, the way how we try to do. And he went there and he started performing the whole ritual and he was offering food to the Shila. And then Krishna was just looking, his father, and at some point he said to his father, "Father, I cannot understand why you're doing your worship. You don't see that Krishna is not reciprocating to you? Just see the food is still there, Krishna is not eating. So why are you doing this? It looks like it doesn't work for you." Yeah, Narayana. Krishna is saying, just see Narayana is not answering to your worship. So Nanda Maharaj, he was a little bit perplexed. He didn't know what to do. But he knows, so I have to give a good example of my kid. So he said, "Yashoda, come here, sit with me. We have to give good example of our kid, how we are worshipping every day Narayan, because he also has to get it from us." So both of them, in a very devotional way, they were performing arati after that, and they closed their eyes, and actually they just immersed in spiritual trance, and they disappeared, and they were just meditating on Narayan, on Krishna. And then Krishna felt bored from all these rituals and ceremonies, and he just went to the Shalagram Shiva and put it in his mouth. Like this. And then at some point they came out of their trance and they saw the Shalagram Shiva is not there. And Nanda Maharaj became so afraid. Where is my Shiva? What happened? He started asking all the servants, where is the Shiva? And then at some point he noticed Krishna is like this. And he said, "Krishna, what do you have in your mouth?" And then Krishna spit out the Shiva. I guess only Krishna is allowed to do that because he's not different from the Shila. He won't contaminate it. So this is what's happening in the spiritual world. Every day is fun. So much fun is going on all the time. But we don't know. Why we don't know? Because we are not reading scripture. Scripture is giving us, it's like a window to the transcendental reality. But often we say, "Oh, I'm actually so busy with this reality. I have so many things to achieve in this reality that I don't have time actually to get in contact with the spiritual reality." So that's why it is so important to open the books and read. And Srila Prabhupada says there is no difference between the different spiritual books. There is no difference between the different pastimes of Krishna. It is not like that we say, "Oh no, I'm reading only Gopal Champu or Ananda Vrindavan Champu and I don't care about Bhagavad Gita because, Bhagavad Gita is like elementary level." No, Srila Prabhupada says all the pastimes of Krishna are amazing. And if one is reading carefully, as Deamrita Maharaj likes to say, if one is giving attention to the details when he's reading, wow, he can find so much juice everywhere. So much juice everywhere. Like first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna brings the chariot in between the two armies. And we know all this amazing story from South India when Lord Chaitanya saw this Brahmana who is illiterate, but he's reading Bhagavad Gita. So he said, "Oh, Brahmana, why you are crying?" He said, "Well, I'm illiterate. My guru told me to read every day the whole Bhagavad Gita and I'm trying." And although I cannot do it, every time when I just open Bhagavad Gita, one picture comes in front of my eyes. How Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, He's the Supreme Controller, He's the enjoyer of everything, but He takes the role of a servant of His devotee. And He brings the chariot of Arjuna in between the two armies. And when I see this, I began to cry. How it is possible, the greatest living entity, the Supreme Lord, becomes subordinate, becomes servant of His devotee. So when I see this, I begin to cry. And then Lord Chaitanya said, my dear Brahmana, you are first-class reader of Bhagavad Gita. You really understand what's happening in Bhagavad Gita. So like that, everywhere we can get so much nectar. Just we have to open. Krishna Kripaya Koile Krishna Veda Puran. Krishna gave us all these Vedas and Puranas just for our benefit. We have to take some advantage. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Any comments, questions? Yes, bro. If you like, you can just say and I will repeat. Why sometimes we feel the ecstasy of spiritual service and sometimes we are not feeling it? That's a good question. This morning I was wondering, why I don't feel the spiritual ecstasy of chanting Hare Krishna? Well, two things we can say. One thing is, we have to become steady in spiritual life. Until we are steady, our mind sometimes is immersed in bhakti rasa, sometimes not. So sometimes we are more connected with the transcendental reality, sometimes we are more connected with the material reality. The moments we are connected with the transcendental reality, we experience the nectar, the bliss. The moments we are not so much connected, our consciousness become material again. We are influenced by laziness, by inertia, by mechanical performing devotional service. Meanwhile, our mind is thinking about so many other things. Like we can see the moments in our spiritual life when the intensity in our practice is increasing, very often our happiness in Krishna consciousness is also increasing, isn't it? Like, for example, you have today 1 hour of chanting or whatever, 1.5 hour, 2 hours, and then half an hour reading. But then a festival comes, and then you do your chanting, you do the reading, you listen extra 1-2 classes, and then the whole day you are running and performing devotional service, and at the end of the day you feel so much more purified. And your consciousness is so much more tuned in. So the more we engage in devotional service, it purifies our consciousness and then we can experience more. Before that, we are, one day we are in the mood, next day we are not so much in the mood of engaging seriously in devotional service. So this is one reason we are still not so steady in devotional life. And even if sometimes physically we are steady, okay, let's say every day we go to Mangalarati, every day we chant our rounds, every day we have kind of regulated lifestyle, but our mind still is not regulated. Sometimes the mind is there, sometimes the mind is completely in a different place. So this can be one reason. Then the other reason is, normally devotee, he is not so much interested from this. His happiness is not coming from, am I experiencing the ecstasy in spiritual life? When we start thinking in this way, we try actually to bring material consciousness into spiritual life. Because it's again about me, how I feel from devotional service. Whereas the idea of the real devotional service is how Krishna will feel from my devotional service. And in so many places, Srila Prabhupada explains The moment we try to make Krishna happy, automatically we become happy. So the more we think about ourselves and the more we think about Krishna, automatically we will be more and more and more happy. So sometimes this self-centeredness enters into the spiritual life. And we start thinking, oh, am I happy? Am I not happy? But actually that's not the idea. We should think how to make Krishna happy, and then automatically we'll start feeling more and more happy. Does it make sense? Yes or yes? Something else, dear devotees? Mike.
So how do you balance being selfless without being self-neglectful? Because if you're self-neglectful, you're also basically like destroying yourself.
How do you balance?
Yeah.
I really like when devotees are asking this question. Very often devotees ask this question, yes? How to balance? And generally the idea is how to balance between material duties and spiritual duties. It is important to balance on our level of Krishna consciousness. But I just want to mention that there is a level of Krishna consciousness that you don't have to balance anymore. And if we are really fortunate, maybe one day we will reach this level. You don't have to think about balance. Like we read about great devotees on the pages of Bhagavatam, they become completely unconscious what's happening with their body. And Krishna has to personally take care of their body, because otherwise their body will die. So on this level, they don't think anymore about balance. Actually, they think about complete absorption in Krishna, 100%. Everything for Krishna, nothing for me. I don't need anything. So on this level, we are experiencing the higher levels of Krishna consciousness, we could say. But yes, on our level, we have to balance. And how do you do that? Well, practically speaking, it's very helpful that we have other devotees around us, experienced devotees. They can help us, they can give us advices, good advices. And to take advice from other devotees, it's valuable and it's important in any ashram. You can be a brahmachari, you can be brahmacharini, you can be grihasta. In any level of spiritual life, it is very, very important to have some senior devotees who are, you feel connection with them, you can share, you can open your heart, and they can give you good advice how to balance your spiritual duties and your material duties. And also, our guru, he should also give us advice what to do and how to do. The guru sometimes say balance it, sometimes he says no, cut it off, you don't need this. Like I have heard about different examples, how sometimes the guru would say, yes, I want you to find a job and work, and in the weekend come and do this and this and this for the temple. But I also have heard about cases that the guru would say, why do you need this? And the disciple will say, I don't know. And the guru will say, well, then just go for it. 100% for Krishna and nothing for you. That's it, because at the end of the day, this is what's happening in the spiritual. 100% for Krishna and nothing for you. So at some point we have to reach this level of consciousness. We should start acting in this way. But until then, practically speaking, it's very good. When we are not sure if we are in balance or not, just ask someone for advice. What to do, how to do it, how to do this. So I think this will be very helpful. Is it okay? Happy or not happy? Okay. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Srila Prabhupada ki